Hey guys, it's Hunter. Welcome back to another video. There is a new plugin in town, and it's one of the most hyped pieces of guitar gear, if you can call it that, of the year. Neural DSP Mesa Boogie Mark IIc Plus. Let's take a closer look. For me, right now, Neural DSP are the gold standard for natural sounding plugins. Been hugely impressed with their stuff to the point where for writing riffs or just a quick mess around, it's almost always through Neural DSP. And this is coming from a tube amp guy. Clearly, I like my tube amps, and I still love Neural DSP to the point where every time they release something new, I need to check it out. Now, the reason this particular plugin is a huge deal is that the Mesa Boogie Mark IIc Plus is a legendary amplifier, and that's almost an understatement. The Mark IIc Plus is considered by many to be the pinnacle of Mesa Boogie tone. We're up to the Mesa Mark V now, and people are still going after the Mark IIc Plus. A lot of players will know it from John Petrucci in Dream Theater. If you're a huge Metallica fan like me, you know the tone of the Mark IIc Plus very well. It was their main sound for Master of Puppets, for Justice, for the Black Album. Even Prince, or the artist formerly known as Prince rather, used a Mark IIc Plus. These tube amps are highly sought after collector's items, and now we've got an accessible digital version. And I've always found the best way to try a piece of gear is to use it to write something. See how the tones and features translate to riffs. Let's plug in, see what it's about, and use it to write a demo track. Okay, I'm playing my 1972 Gibson Les Paul Custom. James Hetfield plays the Iron Cross Les Paul a lot. It's a modified 1973 Les Paul Custom, and I'm telling you guys, shameless Metallica fanboy. That has Spurzle locking tuners. This has Spurzle locking tuners. ESP Hetfield signatures have Goto hardware. This has Goto hardware, and I originally had an EMG 8160 set. Now I've got Willie Adler Fishman Fluences in here. So that's the setup, and here's what it sounds like at the default settings. That is a crunchy sounding amp, man. Speaking of crunchy though, here's a crunchy statistic. Over 9,472% of viewers are not subscribed. So here's a quick reminder, if you're enjoying the content, go ahead and do that if you haven't already. It actually really helps out the channel. Look at the default settings, so this is wild. So interesting thing with the Mark series amps, you know, you got the regular EQ section, and then you've also got this graphical EQ, which has just been absolutely V'd here. And then you've got a ton of these push-pull knobs with additional functionality. It's nuts. Do all of them actually do something? Okay. Yeah, we're gonna keep that bright switch on. Then, interesting. Deep switch. Ooh, I like that one. Oh. What a random place to put the channel switch. Another bright switch for some reason. Extra towel on the amp, okay. What I like about Neural DSP plugins is that all of them have the same format. So, I mean, every module has its own little quirks, but in terms of getting to the features, once you know one, you know all of them. So up here is the access to all the different modules in the plugin. You got your pre-effects, in this case, a compressor, 2 types of overdrives, and a chorus pedal. You got your amp section, obviously, that's what we've just been on. Then you've got your IR selection, so you've got a ton of mics to choose from, dynamic mics, condenser mics, or you can load your own custom IRs down here. And what's cool about this dynamic cab module is you can take the mics and just kind of move them around and experiment with different sounds that way. Then you got a graphic EQ, and finally your post effects, in this case a delay and a reverb. And it would be cool if these are actually based on Mesa pedals. I have no idea if they are though. So that's the top menu, and then this menu down here, you can switch between your different amps. So in this case we've got the plus and then the plus plus. I'm gonna guess that it has more gain. Oh, it's a nicer sounding amp. And then we've got 3 different Mesa cabs to choose from. So this is the rectifier standard slant. Then this is the traditional slant. Oh, that's nice. And then this is the 2x12 horizontal rectifier. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna go with this one. Nothing against the 2x12s, like I have a rectifier 2x12 down there, and I love it, but 4x12 sounds so full. All right, so that's cool. Let's see what kind of presets we've got. Where's the Metallica preset? Ooh, Brocken Sabbath, absolutely no prizes for what that's a reference to. Obviously Britney Spears. Britney sounding good. What else do we have? The Boogie Man. Is that a Enter Sandman reference? No, it is not. Well, that's a disconcerting sound. Metal Up Here. That's gotta be it. Oh man, somebody put out an Amber Alert for those mids. Oh my god, look at that graphic EQ, that's incredible. Okay, so that's the Kill 'Em All preset. I'm surprised that there's no Master of Puppets preset. Like, am I just a fake Metallica fan and I'm missing some reference or something? Alright, enough fucking around though. Let's actually write something. Alright, so obviously with this plugin, we're going full-blown old-school Metallica. Gotta be something thrashy, so... Yep, that sounds pretty thrashy to me. So for the intro, one guitar plays that, the other guitar plays the non-palm muted notes. Yeah, that's our intro and main riff sorted. And then one of my favorite Metallica riffs ever is Eye of the Beholder on Justice. So maybe we can do something like... Cool. I mean, I've played so much knockoff Metallica since I was 13. We're just speed running through the Metallica cliches now. Led me to this point, my dream career, speed running Metallica cliches. Speaking of which, what we need right now is a clean section with the dual harmony lead. So I'm using the Clean Cave preset, chorus pedal set quite high. Yeah, that's it. Then a pentatonic heavy solo with a shitload of wah. Yeah, I'll write that later. I hate writing solos. It takes me forever. And then I've always loved Seek and Destroy's chromatic outro. So, we can do something like... or something like that. And then use, like, the classic Metallica fake end. Yeah, I think that's enough ideas. Now I'm gonna go work on this off camera, and I'll meet you back here for my final thoughts on the newest Neural DSP plugin. But in the meantime, here's how the demo track using the first riffs inspired by this plugin turned out. Alright, so at this point, the YouTuber reaction to new Neural DSP is pretty predictable. They've released another one, Neural DSP, they've done it again. And this time, they have, in fact, done it again. But I was worried that might be the case too literally. John Petrucci has a signature JP2C variant Mark IIc+, so I was dreading retreading of Archetype Petrucci that just dropped recently. Turns out though, these are very differently voiced plugins. Now with plugins, a lot of the tone comes from the IRs you're using. So this plugin and Archetype Petrucci, they do have similar DNA, which makes sense, but the real Mark IIc+ is a notoriously difficult tube amp to dial in. Archetype Petrucci is a more streamlined experience, while the Mark IIc+ suite is, from what I understand, it stays true to the original, reflected by the recreation of the amp's actual, much more complicated controls. And thank goodness it comes with a library of factory and artist presets, because while most Neural DSP plugins basically dial themselves in, the Mark IIc+ suite requires a little more finesse, and it's very easy to end up with some really funky tones. But if you get it dialed in right, the tones are so crunchy. So, my three favorite bands of all time: Metallica, Alter Bridge, Lamb of God, all Mesa Boogie users. Obviously then, when I had the money to buy my first boutique tube amp, it had to be Mesa Boogie. Ended up going with the Rectifier, no regrets, I love that thing. The high gain tone is this huge, scooped sound, stupid amounts of low end. It's so squishy, so it's a very forgiving amp, and interestingly, with so much mid-range, the Mark series was almost the exact opposite. And it was not a forgiving amp in any regard at all. To be honest, I liked it, probably because it's all over my favorite Metallica albums, my favorite Lamb of God albums, but I didn't really love it. And certainly not enough to spend thousands of dollars on one. And so this plugin is like the perfect solution. You get close to those legendary metal sounds in a naturally responsive plugin. And again, it's that responsiveness that makes Neural DSP plugins so good. So I get those tones in my arsenal if I'm in the mood for them, and it doesn't cost me thousands of dollars. Plus with the dynamic IRs, or you can load on any of your own IRs, it's near infinite customization. Right now, the digital space is really exciting. Plugins used to be just for practice or messing around, but tones are getting to the point where they're so mix ready, you can legitimately use them to record your next album, your next EP, and a lot of people, especially non-guitar players, will not notice. I'm still kinda waiting for Neural DSP to release a central hub to mix and match modules a la carte from their now extensive library of plugins. Like take Archetype Tim Henson's multi-voicer module and use it with the Mark IIc+ amp tones and Bia's delay with the shimmer effect. Because right now you can do that, it just requires to run an instance of each plugin, and that is incredibly CPU and RAM intensive. I'm not a software developer, I have no idea if that's possible, but here's to hoping. Anyways, listen, I really can't say anything different from what I've been saying about Neural DSP plugins before. I've been playing with other plugins that are fun, but for me, when it comes to ease of use and of course the natural response, Neural DSP is still the gold standard to beat. Plus, all their plugins have free 14-day trials, so you can try it out, and if you hate it, you can rage delete it or whatever. But take it from a former tube amp snob, they might just win you over. But here's where I'm going to stop rambling and throw it to you. Have you tried the new Neural DSP Mark II C Plus suite yet? What did you think? Let me know your thoughts down below. Massive shout out to my awesome patrons. Their names are on the screen right now. Consider joining them or as a YouTube member if you're enjoying the content and want to support what I do. You can also pick up some high integrity merch that actually really helps out as well. Social media, merch, and Discord server links are in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching. You've been awesome, and I will see you for the next video.